Lady Charmaine, and my guest today is known for her roles in Half and Half, Smart Guy, and Are We There Yet? And she's here today to talk about her made-for-TV movie entitled My Other Mother, starring Lena Whitfield and Jasmine Guy. Help me welcome Miss Essence Atkins to the show. How you doing? And welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Now, we all know you from Smart Guy, Half and Half, and Are We There Yet? And one of my first questions to you at Essence is, what was it like for you knowing that you were a part of so many people's lives as they were growing up?
It's so interesting, to have fans and then have new fans based on syndication and based on people. Smart Guy was on in the mid-'90s. And to this day, it's one of those things that I still get recognized for universally from different people of ethnicities and ages. And, that's the power of syndication, of having something just run for a long time, and it just kind of keeps spawning a new generation. I mean, Smart Guy is airing now, I think, on like MTV1 or something. So this is a whole new generation of people seeing it for the first time, even though I did the show almost 20 years ago. So it's pretty cool to have people, A, recognize you from that, and B, to know that you're kind of a part of television history. I mean, that's one of the beauties of TV, is that people welcome you into their lives, into their living rooms, and it happens, and it can happen for multi-generations.
And that's what the point I was trying to make, because my kids, now my daughter, she'll be 15 next month. And I remember her watching Smart Guy years ago. And mind you, when you did the show, she wasn't even born, and to know who you are, and to know who you are. And that's what I was saying, being in so many homes and a part of so many people's lives. And some kids don't even know that the show was in syndication. They weren't even born when it started. So I just want to say kudos to you for just being a part of, as you said, television history.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But, that's not something you can plan on. I mean, I just try and do good work and show up and be present and be grateful and make the best products possible with a team of people, in front and behind the cameras. And you just never know. I mean, TV is it's very dicey. I mean, we've all seen season after season all these shows that, are critically acclaimed or have a lot of kind of media or advertising behind them, and then 3 episodes in, they're gone. So you just never know.
That's true. And you're a mommy now, and so how important is it for you to have your child grow up and respect your work?
I mean, I would hope that he does. I think I kind of don't worry about it. I'm more focused on just living a life that he respects, period, not necessarily kind of mitigating it to just my work, but being the kind of person that he admires and respects on my own. Because the thing about telling stories, I mean, most often we're telling stories about broken people. There's very rarely a reason to start a story if everything is copacetic and peachy keen. It's like, well, why are we telling this story? And life was great in the beginning, and life was great in the end, and in the middle it was great too. It's like, what kind of story is that? It's interesting because I've been asked this question as a Christian as well, where people have kind of wondered about playing certain kinds of characters. Would I, won't I, that kind of thing. And I'm like, well, in telling the stories of humanity, there are people who are broken, and I want to honor their stories as well. I don't tell stories about perfect people doing perfect things. So, hopefully as he gets older and he sees the kind of conduct that I have in real life in front of him day in and day out, he'll respect me.
I'm so glad you mentioned you're a Christian, because my very first television show that I did, because I also host a television show, and the show was Christians Finding Love Online. So I found people who found love online, and so did you on Match.com. So how long did
Hilarious. I had no idea that was the name of the show you did. Yeah.
And so did you. So it was so funny then when you mentioned you were a Christian, and I'm like, I just did a show, and I had no idea, when I was reading about you, you met on Match.com. And I had people on the show who met their spouses on Match.com. So did you go there just looking for a spouse, just companionship, or just trying to see if you would find someone? What was your real reason for going on Match.com?
Well, funny. A lot of people have kind of wondered about that and speculated, well, you're a celebrity. Like, you have problems meeting people. And the truth of the matter is no, I didn't have problems meeting people, but everyone I met was kind of somehow connected to the entertainment industry. And I had dated, you know, people kind of who were doing something similar to me or, you know, kind of connected to the entertainment business. And really, I was just at this point in my life where I just felt like I needed to shift the paradigm. And I was like, I just want to date a normal guy. I was like, when am I meeting this guy? Like, how am I meeting him? I'm not sitting in a bar waiting for somebody to buy me a drink. So, like, how do I meet this, you know, just going up and down the supermarket aisles looking cute? I'm like, when I go to the supermarket, I look crazy. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, how am I going to meet people outside of the industry, especially because the majority of my friends were also connected to the industry. So I was like, okay, you know, where can I kind of cast a net? And I was also in my mid-30s at the time. So, you know, did I want to get married? Yes. Did I want to have a family of my own? Yes. But I was also open to whatever was supposed to happen. And what I had decided, it's really interesting. I got to this point where I was like, yes, I want to get married. Yes, I want to have children. But I recognize that I'm in this kind of finite time period in terms of doing it the way that I imagine. Because, again, like I said, I was in my mid-30s. And, you know, as a woman, it's always kind of more, it can be more of a challenging to get pregnant. And I was like, okay, when we meet somebody, we got to get engaged, we got to get married, we got to spend some time together. I was like, that timeline, you just go, oh, my window is shrinking. But I had also, I got to this place where I just need peace with the fact that it may not happen. And I had decided, you know, that I wasn't going to not cooperate with that if it didn't happen within this time frame, whatever that biological time frame window is, because it's individual for every woman, that I was still going to find a way to be happy and fulfilled. So I didn't go online thinking, oh, I'm going to meet my husband and we're going to get married and then I'm going to have a baby and it's all going to work out. I just said, A, I want to meet somebody outside of the industry. I just want to cast a net in a different area. And B, I'm open to whatever is supposed to happen for me, and I'm going to be happy no matter what that is. So I think that both of those things were kind of the key to the success that I had. It was like a release, you know, and it was also just a change in doing something and how I had been doing it, but also a release of trying to control what the outcome was.
Now, that was really good. So you need to put that in a book because that was good. You released it. That's great. So we're going to look for the Essence Atkins book on how you did it. So now I want to talk about your new movie. You have a movie entitled My Other Mother, starring Jasmine Guy and also Lynn Whitfield. Tell us about the movie.
Well, the movie is about a woman named Candy Myers, who is a very successful woman in her own right. She has her own syndicated talk show that she hosts with her co-host, played by Russ Parr. And she's kind of at the height of her success in terms of what she set out to do with her life. And it's funny because I guess in some ways it mirrors my own story. She kind of is at a crossroads and she's like, okay, I'm doing what it is I set out to do. I'm successful at it, and I have fulfillment, but I still feel something's missing. I still feel some sort of kind of emptiness. And, you know, on the surface, the literal story is that she goes in search of her birth parents because she was adopted, and she feels like, okay, it's time I find my birth parents and just get to know what that story was. You know, as a journalist, the curiosity is ignited. But what it's really about is just finding meaning and purpose and really discovering what matters most. And I think that that's a story that everyone can relate to, adopted or not adopted. You know, it's just kind of being at this crossroad in your life and deciding like, oh, I'm still searching for something, and what is that? And kind of going on this quest, if you will, to find it.
Now, what was it like for you working with Lynn Whitfield? She is an awesome actress, and you also work with Jasmine Guy. But first, tell me about Lynn Whitfield. She is such a strong actress. And I remember when she got the role as Josephine Baker, because I was attending Grambling State University at the time, and her aunt worked there. And I remember walking to my class, and she was coming down the walkway, and she was like, my niece just got the role as Josephine Baker. I'm like, well, who is your niece? And she was like, her name, Lynn Whitfield. Look out for her name, because she had just got off the phone with her. So So I said, I sure will. And that's how I always will remember hearing her name from when she got the role as Josephine Baker. And she is an awesome actress. What was it like for you working with her?
She's an amazing woman. I mean, as awesome as she is as a talent and an artist, she's also a great, cool woman to hang out with and spend time with. This was actually my third time working with her. She played my mom on Are We There Yet? She also played my mom in a little independent movie that we did together called Act Like You Love Me. So I've worked with her before and had great experiences both times, but we hadn't worked in such an intense project, in kind of such an intense ratio, because all the scenes for Lynn and I were together in this particular project, and there was a lot of sparring between she and I for the movie, and a lot of scenes together. So that was one of the reasons. She was one of the reasons that I said yes when the producer Eric from Swirl Films approached me about working on this project. He said, and Lynn Whitfield will be playing Mary Jo, and I was like, Lynn Whitfield, I'm all in. Yeah. She's great. I mean, again, like I said, besides just being an incredible woman to spend time with and learn from, she's such a dynamic artist, such a dynamic, passionate person, and she's lived such a colorful and interesting life. But watching her craft this character, watching her dig and find just the right elements to put this character together from the inside out was just a wonderful experience as well. I mean, she is a master craftsman. Mm-hmm. She is a master artist. She cares so much about the work that she does, and she spends tireless enough time kind of cultivating and thinking about all those details that the audience doesn't necessarily notice on a conscious level, but that matter. And I adore her. I think she's amazing. And it's so great to work with her yet again. And then with Jasmine, it's one of those things where, like, here is, a triple threat. Here is, a legacy within itself standing before me. We grew up watching Different World and seeing her when she had her single and watching her dance. And she's always been, and now she's a choreographer and she's a director. And kind of sitting across from her, having this conversation about a scene and what do you want to do and what do you think, and like feeling in some way like I was collaborating with her, which, I was, but it was just kind of like this surreal moment where I wanted to pinch myself. Like, how did I get here? How did I get from my living room looking at this person on the opposite side of the screen to now, like, having this conversation where I'm like, oh yeah, and I think I let alone alive. What do you think, Jasmine? It's like, it's so funny and so strange and so amazing. And you find it's one of those things where you find yourself kind of pinching yourself, remembering what it was like before the dream even started.
Wow. I mean, it's great to see your story and just to see how you're still in awe of people that you watched on television as well. I think that's something really special to hear, that there's people that still in your eyes, you're like, well, how did I get here? As God continued to move you in your career. Go ahead.
I think it's a dangerous thing, and not just for an artist, but for us as human beings, to lose our reverence. Mm-hmm. To lose our sense of awe, to lose our ability to be blown away. I was actually reading something yesterday, and it was just like, take time to notice the miracles around you, the small ones. And then I think if you do that, if you kind of practice that daily, then there can be something really amazing in every day. As mundane as the days may be sometimes, there can still be something amazing in them if you don't lose your awe.
That's good. Don't lose your awe. See, that's another nugget for your book, too. That should just be a whole nother chapter right there. And so I'm going to help you write this book, okay?
Okay.
We got two chapters thus far.
We'll get at the coffee shop to bang it out.
We got 2 chapters thus far. We got to get out tomorrow, okay? This is going to be a New York Times bestseller. You keep up with those great quotes, and we got a great book on our hands, okay? So what upcoming projects are you working on?
I just did a project called The Sister Code, where I just made a cameo in this movie. It's an independent movie. I just, like I said, made a cameo playing opposite Eva Marcel, the beautiful Eva Marcel, and that was really fun playing with her. She's such a dynamo and such a sweetheart and really just a very professional, prepared actress, which was really nice, considering, she comes from the modeling world initially. So, watching her kind of really take this ball and this opportunity and run with it and continue to grow and not take, the opportunity she's been given to transition for granted, and really being so, like I said, uber prepared and professional. It's so cool. I'm really excited for her and where her career is going. So that's awesome. So I had fun working on that. And then I'm actually getting ready to go back to work on Mr. Box Office, which is the show that I was doing with Bill Bellamy and John Lovitz and Vivica Fox. We're getting ready to start working on that again for a new season. So I'm excited to see those guys and work with them. And then I'm also going to be producing a web series called Black Actress, which is this really adorable web series that I actually was interviewed for last season. That was their first season, and you can YouTube it and see the episodes. But basically, it follows Andrea Lewis, who plays a Black actress, and kind of her struggles to find success and in all arenas of her life. But the show is bookended with interviews with real Black actresses, one for each episode, kind of at the beginning and at the end, discussing aspects of their career. So it's a really great little project that I'm going to be working on that I'm so excited about, because it's just something that I've always wanted to learn, which is production and the other side of what it is that I do with my life and my time and what I've invested so much of my love and passion for. So I'm excited to keep learning and growing in that area as well. And then I'm, when I'm not busy working, I'm in class. I'm in acting class. Like I said, just continuing to rub elbows and be sharpened by other artists and working on different mediums and different stories. And a lot of times people are like, "You're a professional actress, why are you in acting class?" I'm like, "Oh, do you think a pianist doesn't play when there's no concert?"
See, that's another chapter.
Well, but I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't need a paycheck to want to act. I don't need a paycheck to want me to want to tell stories and work with other amazing, incredible, talented artists. So, I'm always interested and curious and excited about working on material, whether anyone sees it ever or not. I just like great stories, and in acting class, and for anyone who's aspiring to be an actor, I always say study and do student films and do different types of things, so you can really decide if that's what you really want to do. A lot of people think it's something that it isn't, but also just so you can keep growing and learning. And so, it's like I'm working on this play right now, which is just there's such great subtext and things to kind of work on, and no one will ever see it, and I'll never make a dime from it. In fact, it cost me money to go to acting class, but I love it, and I'm so excited about my scene partner this month and all that other stuff. So just keep yourself excited, keep yourself curious, no matter what your aspirations are and your dreams are. Keep feeding it and keep stoking that fire.
See, I see that's chapter 3 of the book. Continue to sharpen your skills.
Stoking your fire.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
And just like
I like it.
And just like when you said, do you think a pianist does not, play the piano when he's not in concert? See, that was great, because that means you have to continue to sharpen your skills. Now we have 3 chapters. You just have a few more to go. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a New York Times bestseller.
It'll be like a doctor's self-help book. It'll be very short.
Yes, but it's going to be awesome. You know what? Make it just a cute little pocketbook. You know what I mean? One of those cute little quick pocketbooks.
Hilarious.
Yes.
That's funny.
Girl, I'm telling you, I got some bright ideas. We got to get together, girl. So as I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. It was truly a pleasure having you. And I want to let everyone know to make sure you watch UPtv this Sunday, September 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern for My Other Mother, starring my girl Essence Atkins. We have Lynn Whitfield and Jasmine Guy. I look forward for you coming back on the show.
Yes, I look forward to it as well, Lady Charmaine. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you, everyone, for your support over the years and continuing to allow me into your lives a little bit and supporting my work. I greatly appreciate it.
Wonderful, and I look forward to reading your book, so keep me posted.